Hello everyone, my name is James Perry. I'm a lecturer for AccaBelfast, and in this short video lecture we'll be covering how do we pass P7 Advanced Audit and Assurance. So what is it all about? It's a professional level exam, and P7 builds on the knowledge gained on F8 in terms of F8 is principles based. So P7 takes this one stage further and applies those principles gained. So for the ACCA website, is to apply relevant knowledge and skills in evaluating and concluding on audit and assurance engagements. So what is the format of the paper? Well, it's a 3-hour paper with 15 minutes reading time at the start of the paper. And it's broken down into 2 sections. Section A, there are 2 compulsory questions, which are longer form questions and carry a heavy weighting in terms of marks. And Section B, you've got 3 questions and you have a choice of 2. Interesting point even to look at this early stage of your studies is how do I actually choose those 2 questions from the 3 options I've been given. Okay, well the examiner will, in the exam, pose a number of scenarios in order to test a number of elements. Number 1 is to test the practical application of the theory that you gained. Number 2, to test how you deal with pressure. And number 3 is to actually test your professionalism. As a fully qualified accountant, you will be dealing with very high time pressured situations and you have to act in a professional manner. So therefore, a couple of elements within the exam is actually testing these attributes. Okay, so why do you want to pass P7? What is your motivation and what is your end game? Well, I know from my own experience, I wanted to qualify as an accountant for a number of reasons: money, increased job prospects, and job status. So hence, I would have these things in the back of your mind continually as you go through your exams, i.e. your end game and your motivation, which will drive you forward in your studies. So hang in there, have confidence in yourself. Remember, in this exam, you have no need for perfection, you need 50%. So therefore, how do I prepare myself in order to pass this exam? Well, the title of this slide is Have You Got the P7 textbooks? And really, do you have the right materials? Once you get the right study materials, I would suggest you calm down and take a methodical and structured look at how you're going to approach these exams and these studies. As I've said in the second point, you can't actually eat an elephant in one bite. You're probably looking at the textbook currently and going, how am I going to get through this? But actually break it down into bite-sized chunks and you will get through it. Planning is key, and therefore if you have a study plan and a timetable devised even at this stage, it will stand you in good stead in terms of passing this exam and getting through it in a logical and methodical manner. This slide I've called Change Your Tactics. And what do I mean by that? Okay, are you one of those people who constantly read over the material time and time again? Do you rewrite your notes continually and therefore you put the prettiest and most colourful notes in the class? Or do you practice the easy questions in the textbook and never look at the more difficult questions? Why is that? Is it because you're nervous or fearful of dealing with the more difficult questions? Well, what I would say the key to passing P7 is, and you may have guessed it already, questions, questions, questions. I do not mean basic questions. I mean exam style questions. You simply cannot do enough of these. So therefore, when you're preparing and studying for this exam, I would take on board a couple of tips. Number 1, I would review the content and get comfortable with the content. And that doesn't necessarily mean reread and reread. It means getting comfortable with content. Once you've done that, I would then take on exam style questions. Okay. Once you've done that, I would then review the model answers. And even if you haven't done particularly well in the exam style questions, by reviewing the model answers, hopefully you will consolidate a lot of that knowledge. Also, you can actually use the model answers then as your study notes moving forward. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on P7? Remember, it's the application of theory that is being tested here. You've already gained the theory in F8, So therefore, application is the key thing to focus on. To adopt an auditor mindset, and what do I mean by that? I mean to adopt a common sense approach. A lot of auditing is actually common sense. One of the key phrases within auditing is to adopt a professional skepticism approach. And really what that means is that what would a person off the street, what conclusion would they come to if they were posed with similar scenarios that you would find in auditing. There are important key themes within P7 as well. How would you actually come about getting and discovering those key themes? Well, it's doing exam style questions and actually doing past paper questions as well. So by doing those questions, you will see a common theme or a common trend within the papers, and hopefully you can get comfortable with those themes. Then actually use the syllabus. Use the syllabus as a study guide or as a checklist in terms of your study and your timetable. Therefore, you can actually check off those important areas, and whenever you do that, use the syllabus and actually tick those off. Actually use the technical articles. Okay, the technical articles will not cover all the content, but it will give you potentially those one or two key points that you can use in the exam, which will give you those one or two marks which will actually get you to pass this exam. And then a key point is to use past papers. Have you actually got the last 6 past papers? I would suggest you would, and therefore to review these, review the model answers, and hopefully that will stand you in good stead. Okay, so good luck with P7, good luck with your studies, and hopefully this short video lecture will give you a couple of key points and tips in order to assist you with passing your exams. Good luck.